Before we begin, I want to mention right away that I prefer this manga and anime to be called as Hunter x Hunter. Some people use Hunter x Hunter, but I'm good with both. Also, I will be using examples from the 1999 and 2011 anime along with the manga, so spoilers ahead. You've been warned. Now on with the review. Monstrous animals, rare species, buried riches, hidden treasures, worlds of explored planets. The world unknown seems like magic, and many are attracted to this force. They are called hunters. The same words hold as Hunter x Hunter is a series that holds these values. From the scum of the earth to the smallest of cinnamon rolls, Yoshiro Takashi truly blurred the lines of what it means to be evil. Gon Freaks lives on the remote whale island and is the star of the series, a plucky boy wishing to become a hunter and find his father after going to get some cigarettes and milk when he was born. He loves his Aunt Mito, who I do like, but I can't say she's morally right for telling Gon that his father died just to hide it in the 1999 anime. The 1999 anime has a lot of little bits that just really should be considered better than other forms. Like, it just adds more details I just never mentioned in the manga or the 2011 anime. But Gon ignores it and considers his father Jean. A challenge to find him is set off. Right away, there's a big difference at the start. So, we get to know someone named Kite. In the manga, he teaches Gon to not be involved with wild animals and respect nature. But Gon shows him that he's more than he seems to be able to tame a violent cub. Already from the start of the story, just oozes with personality. The theme of hunting stacks on each other. After leaving and going on a boat, massive storm takes over, and with most of the members on the ship getting seasick, leaving Gon, plus two other intriguing people, Kurapika and L'Oreal Palanite. Already the two hate each other, while Gon is keeping his distance, trying to keep the peace at least. I can't say it's more, but there is great opposite attraction chemistry going on here. Also, I noticed a lot of people thought Kurapika was a girl at first. I always thought he was more of a guy, but I guess he's just got more feminine features. Immediately we learn that the hunter exam has already started once they've been on this boat. L'Oreal is a money-hungry individual who reads sleazy magazines and talks loudly to make a point. But he still has a heart of gold wanting to become a doctor to help others for free. As you know, a lot of people will try to get through the country exam to pay off their student debt, especially L'Oreal in this case. Kurapika is shown to be a calculating, upstanding, rule-abiding Avenger aiming to end the group called the Phantom Troop, or the Spiders. Kurapika is the last of his clan called the Kurtas, and the troop apparently wiped out his entire clan. These two plan to fight after an argument, only to have one of the crew members thrown off the ship, and Gon has to save them. And they have to save Gon in the process. The three stick together almost like a video game with a brawler, mage, and a healer. Togashi has this thing about puzzles. As shown to the trials, the three go on for the hunter exam. The mood hits differently once we start meeting the main players like Hisoka, the lovable psychotic clown, Killua, the cool-headed killer, assassin, and Tompa, the Rookie Crusher. Among that, a lot of other extras like Pakul, Ponzu. Seriously, this is something I dislike, and I'm going to talk about Ponzu later, and Pakul a little bit. It's like, she's only relevant for this one part, but later you'll see. And there's always the lovable examiner, Sotas. Everyone is struggling as they have to run a 50-mile race. One by one, hundreds of applicants drop out. We get a great introduction to Gon and Killua's budding relationship. Their friendship is organic and reflects real life so well. Maybe too well in some cases. Almost all the main players escape the endless hallway and find themselves in a bog. Things start to change significantly once the creatures in the bog devour applicants. And no one mentions this, but kind of dark. You think about it, like all these people are being just eaten or being killed off one by one. Hisoka even gets in this and slices up contestants for jumping him. And Kurapika and L'Oreal are about to become Swiss cheese until Gon strikes the clown with his special fishing rod. Afterwards, everyone tries their hand at cooking for the next trial. We meet the lovely Vinci. Now, there are some differences here, because like in the manga and the 1999, they cook fish first. And, you know, in the animes, in the 2011, it's like they skip a lot of different parts too. It's really weird. I guess just to cut out filler, but it's in the manga, you know? She's a gourmet hunter who hates everyone and anything not just her perfection. We get a brief glimpse of the chairman of the Hunter Association telling her off, and eventually Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Lorio pass what's left. The four now make that 5 with Pampa rubbing his nose in. Have to go through a tower to escape it and make it to the next part. It's like a maze with a time limit. Floor to floor, the four come across criminals betting all their time, because the limit of getting down the tower is possible. And any other way to get down to the tower, it's pretty much is immediate death to the monsters around it. Pampa gives up the first chance. Gon outsmarts his opponent. Kurapika beats the life out of his pretending to be a Phantom Troop member. Lorio loses in rock, paper, scissors, and in other ways, and Killua quenches it by clutching the heart of his victim in his hand. When first reading this, it was a shock. In the manga, Killua catches more bodies just because he was just pissed off. Something is intriguing about this, because in any other story, Killua would be the real monster, but that just shows his development is far more complex than we first see on the surface. In the next part, everyone's hunting for each other. Literally. It makes it worse that they have to try to collect badges from each other, and lo and behold, Hisoka is Gon's target. I can't underestimate how much foreshadowing is used with this next part of the exam. This shows Gon's character and how he's just more than he seems, where I can't tell if he's smart or observant when he catches Hisoka, who is currently on a bloodlust trip. In the manga, it's kind of terrifying, like he's more of a wild creature than a human. But there's something about him. He's creepy, no doubt, but he spares Gon after he outwits him while Kurapika and co make it out of the skin of their teeth. Literally in one scene, they were stuck in a cave filled with poisonous snakes, and they used Gon's ability to hold his breath to save them. The kid is just so likable, because no one gets this far without a couple people they just met. Even in the previous part, we see that Gon is able to tell between two people that can shapeshift into the same exact people based on their gender. It's just really interesting for a main character. In the 1999 anime filler, there is some nice filler based around finding buried treasure and saving a sinking ship. Nothing noteworthy, but Kakashi helped write this, so I find it cool to mention that he helped out with the original anime. Also, there was one scene I think illustrated Gon's struggle after he's poisoned, and Hisoka saves him by someone trying to get his badge. So well. When he was poisoned by one of the contestants, he's stuck in an isolated area in the forest. He's unable to move. He's visibly in pain. Hisoka's victory is on his mind. It's so rough to watch, but it's so good, and I really wish they kept that in the newer anime in 2011. He's just struggling to hold on from the toxin. This, coupled with the backstory to Killua's past, we get to see how his mind and viewpoint has just changed to nothingness after the amount of people that he's assassinated. The visual of him just standing next to a large body while looking at his bloodstained hand, it's so well done, because the traumatic experiences both shape the two boys in their own way. It's just two parallels that just make so much sense. The final exam is surprisingly a shorter tournament. I don't know what the Hunter Association is thinking, but if you can let the devil himself become a hunter, then there might be more corruption in the organization than I thought. But sure, let Hisoka and now the revealed assassin brother of Killua, Illumi, become one, work out just fine. Give them any kind of authority. Heck, give them their hunter license immediately. The first fight takes a plastic page out of Togashi's handbook, where the main character is out cold for the rest of the fight. Can I just say how amazing the fight is in 1990 anime? With the lighting, pacing, how Gon rejects defeat. And it's just so good. And the cinematography as well. Even if Konzo is going to cut him in pieces and threaten him, Gon generally just might be insane. But Hanzo admits defeat, out of respect for Gon. Gon is through the tournament, and Kurapika has given us info that shocks him. Lorio wins with little issue, and then Killua, I can't say for certain, but Illumi gets under his skin and gets him off his opponent, which is against the rules, and essentially everyone passes, since if someone's killed their opponent, everyone else just wins because they're disqualified. It's interesting, sort of the construction of the shonen type story. Yeah, I know the whole deconstruction motif is just kind of outplayed at this point, but it's still cool because only one person can lose in this tournament to win, and Killua was the one to do it, even though he was probably the strongest there. It's not too different in this case, like Sasuke considers Satoshi and Naruto, but the parallels of Illumi and Killua are pretty much more possessive and more toxic than I think than them. Every one of the main characters get their hunter license. Even Gon, who rejects it, still gets it. I couldn't lie in saying I love to have a hunter license of my own, since you can basically go anywhere and do anything, have 90% of everything you've been paid for in advance. I just, like, imagine just being able to go to any country and, like, hey, here's my hunter license. Oh yeah, your stay is, like, only, like, $10. Like, yes, please? Even though, like, you would probably die in the hunter exam 99% of the time. Even Lorio has plans to sell his to pay for his student debt. Like, you think the Hunter Association would allow others to get free college for life at this point. What matters is Killua is gone, and Gon confronts Illumi, nearly breaking his arm. It's such a good scene, and Gon shows how much he cares for his new friend, going as far to rescue him from his messed up family. The arc ends with Kurapika, Lorio, and Gon heading to Mount Koroko to save Killua. I wouldn't call this an arc after this, like, it's more like a couple chapters, as our trio are heading up to save Killua. We'll at least see him being tortured. I mean, Lumi's just kind of messed up, honestly, and I don't really like him as much. He's kind of the most, but you know what, he's kind of the most normal one of the Zoldycks besides Killua, despite his, like, otaku-ish behavior. Like, Gon, Killua, and Kurapika have to get trained in order to open multiple tons of gates to reach the Zoldyck family. The only thing noteworthy is Killula's black butler, Canary. No, literally, his black butler. It's interesting because I like how close Killua and her were. Yeah, but it's kind of a shame Canary wasn't expanded more until later. Like, even then later. We just didn't... I just wish she was more useful. Like, I don't know. You don't really see many black characters in manga, but I like how she's really Gon wants to protect Killua just as much as she does for him. We even get a seemingly wholesome scene with Killua and his dad talking about the friends Killua made. This is all ruined seeing his dad willing to know he was going to come back, even letting him go on his own. Like, I just think the whole Zoldyck family is toxic. Even his mother just takes abuse from her family without a second thought. Like, couldn't let go of Killua knowing that he could be the head of the family, so they consider manipulating him to train their potential assassin leader. Not sure if Togashi had a friend like this, but he perfectly illustrated a toxicity in families. Gon might have had Mito lie to him, but he gave him a very positive upbringing in spite of everything. Also, this big reference in the Zoldyck family I never remember. It's like, we see Miluki, we've already seen Lumi, we also see a little bit of Kabuto, his mom and dad, but one more hidden behind a picture. Keep this in mind for later. The trio meet Killua, but Kurapika and Lorio plan to leave, leaving Killua and Gon to face the world together. It's a good send-off, but I feel like it would have been considered the real conclusion of the Hunter exam. Here we go. Killua and Gon might need money too. So, what better way to make it? By fighting, of course, and they take it to a place called Heaven's Arena. Apparently Killua was just a toddler when he took on adults fighting in this arena. Money is using this called Jenny, so I'll be from now on. It doesn't take long for the two to make it far, effortlessly stomping out the competition while earning a ton. It's not until Killua meets this one competitor, Zushi, where Killua runs into trouble and nearly loses to his strange power. Both Killua and Gon snoop around to figure out what's been happening. They learn about this strange concept called Nin. There we get to meet the biggest ship in the story, when the two boys are introduced to Zushi's teacher, Wing. For some who don't know what Nin is, it can be simple to learn, yet very complex to master. It's one of the greatest magic systems ever conceived in fiction, in my opinion, taking up to 6 categories: enhancer, emitter, transmuters, conjurers, manipulators, and specialists. Turns out Hisoka was a Nin user as well, as long as Lumi as well. Comes to realize that Nin has made people very powerful. The ability to turn the piece of paper into steel, or to strike fear in everyone to their very core. Just imagine just standing there next to someone, and it feels like you're in a blizzard in your underwear. It's just a terrifying concept, because Nin can just essentially destroy you just from just someone looking at you. Just for example of what it can do, honestly, because both of them now aim to learn this. Gon learns he's an enhancer, being able to enhance his strength. Killula's transmuter, being able to transmute his Nin into any property like chemicals or substances. Both now aim to make it to the master floor of the Heaven's Arena, and lo and behold, Hisoka is waiting. I also want to mention that the way that they are able to figure out their Nin types is very similar to Harry Potter, with the hats and trying to figure out the ability to which dorms they're part of, like Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws, or in this case, using a cup of water and showing your nin through it to be able to figure out if you're a transmuter or a specialist, etc. We learned that through Heaven's Arena, that the mastery of nin, they can't even step through it, even through dying through Hisoka's malevolent aura. Side note: the side characters in this are really great. Like Togashi can make even one employee have so much passion. Like just in the previous work, Yu Yu Hakusho. The 1999 version he even has this memes about this particular elevator lady. I love her. She's just so charismatic and it's just a good gag, in my opinion. Gon and Killua face other nin users that come up to the top of Heaven's Arena. All of them aimed even through their opponent's body. Like, their bodies are so destroyed from fighting other nin users. It shows that you could lose everything if you fight someone unprepared. But Killua spots shenanigans happens when they try to make threats against others that are trying to win their competitions. That's when he shows off his assassin persona, threatening to take them down if they so much as try to hurt Zushi or Gon in this case. It's great, as the two best them with Gon wanting to pay back Hisoka from the Hunter exam, even keeping the badge from before they try to give it back to him. It just shows that Gon himself doesn't expect a victory unless he's earned it. Very admirable trait of his character. Hisoka even gets a good fight in showing he's a transmitter. His special ability is called Bungee Gum, having the ability properties of rubber and gum, being able to change into where he can basically defeat anyone because he knows how to use it. It's a simple ability, but it's so well done because he knows how to use it best. Even with the two knowing how to use Nen as well, they seem to hold their own. It's only when Hisoka and Gon fight when it gets really good. Like, Gon fights his hardest, but Hisoka ultimately wins. Even everyone in the stadium just knows that Hisoka is better. And the referee has to call it because he knows that Gon could most potentially lose his life in it. But Gon survives, and even doing this through an expedition. I feel Hisoka seems really suspicious when he talks about him not ready to bloom. Like, there's something really wrong with him, the way he just reacts to Gon. And just many deranged statements he makes while a potential fighter he knows he is. He just ain't right. The two boys leave Heaven's Arena, but not before we get a hint that Hisoka isn't just a good nin user, but also a Phantom Troop member. Meeting one of them who talks about meeting in New York New City. Here we learn Hisoka is faking being a member, and they plan to meet in the city on September
焼き付いて離れない
Okay, everything else up until now has been well written. We start with, this is going to be one of the best arcs in this series, I can't lie. We start with Kurapika. In some parts, like the anime and the manga, it's a flashback. Kurapika is now on the cusp of learning Nin, going to join as a blacklist hunter. The raw emotion that is displayed is breathtaking. If you've watched the 1990 anime, you learn that he's a conjurer, and he learns that he's based on his ability off chains, and the animation just gives off the idea of getting that the end of his clan is getting to him. Like the reds in the chains just circling around him. It's just so intense and so good. It's almost like the blood of his brethren is drowning him. And the chains he's conjured to capture them are bounding himself to his revenge. It's such a shame because the imagery just does not do justice in the 2011 anime, not even the manga compared to this 1999 anime. But Kurapika himself, I find his path as Avenger more meaningful than most shonen protagonists like Sasuke. Now, Kurapika is now not mentally well, but he is still a human being. I get this when he meets this lovely lady named Melody. She's disfigured inside the most, but I find her endearing, and she even predicts when Kurapika and her are about to be gunned down on a train heading to York New. Already, she's a powerful nin user, able to hear the faintest of sounds and others' emotions. I think Kurapika did a good job introducing a great minor character like her, and the more versatile applications of nin. A while after, Kurapika is summoned for a job, hired by a rich family named Nostrads, to gather black market items such as severed hands, corpses, and the like, but by the family bodyguard, Donsally. Speaking of Togashi, what is with these naming schemes? And it's kind of creepy, but you know rich people are doing this if they could, if to carry any dead animals or corpses and such things like that. It's a rare value. I mean, you could see Bill Gates doing something like this, or Elon Musk, honestly. We meet a few more minor characters along with Melody, like Basho, the haiku artist. Bass, the lovely pink-haired seductress. Squala, the dog trainer, who has a lot of good boys around him. Shamal, and many others. They all have to fight afterwards as a test for the Nostrad family, a bunch of the actually sword-wielding beings that are actually nin constructs. We learn that all the members are nin users, and Kurapika is much more powerful than before with his new chain ability, Fight Back. They then interrogate each other to see who has caused these nin constructs to come fight them. When each of their abilities upon base figures out that it was Squalo, who's already part of the family, and testing them to see if they're qualified to work for the Nostrads. I know it's not relevant, but base ability 180-minute slave lover is so powerful. I mean, one kiss and you are under her control. I always wondered if this was just a one-time thing, or she could do it repeatedly. And also, Basho's ability to make anything from a haiku if it's good enough to him. He literally can set a chair on fire with his fist. Like, how powerful can it get? I also really love Kurapika's ability, using his chain ball for beating the snot out of others, and also just being able to see if someone's lying. Conjuration is overpowered, man. One of my favorites, nin types, and seeing a glimpse of it is capable is just great. Anyhow, all of them pass, and they plan to meet the boss of the Nostrad family. A strange blue-haired girl named Neon. There's something for the manga readers, but I am delighted reading Togashi's message at the end of each chapter. Just the one about him marrying his wife was adorable, or how he wanted to make trading cards based on board games when he was younger with his brother. I mean, I can relate. Me and Togashi are very similar in this case, making board games and card games when we're that age. It's nice. We need more stuff like this in the manga, honestly, just besides just 1 to 2 sentence blurbs. It helps us really connect with these people that are creating our favorite stories. Meanwhile, Gon and Killa head back to Will Island after making a ton of money in Heaven's Arena. It's so wholesome how we see the difference in Mito treats Gon, and how Killa's family treats him, and how Mito just loves Killa, and just has Gon to start doing chores, and hey, you should have told me ahead of time, like a real mom would. It's like Mito makes Killa her second son, and the boys hang out, bathe together, enjoy their company together under the stars, while Mito is watching them from a distance. It revealed that Ging left something behind for Gon after he's passed the Hunter exam. Like he thought he would pass the Hunter exam. I mean, a strange box that Mito tried to get rid of. Mito needs to just stop hiding things from Gon at this point, but, I mean, she's a parent. She cares, it makes sense. I mean, this part, wow, Ging is a deadbeat dad. He used the recorder to taunt Gon, saying, "You won't find me. Don't even try." He is a bum. Even going far as to challenge Gon before they even copy the recording reset by nin. Even Gon doesn't really care about his mom in this case. I mean, even his dad asked him if he wanted to, but it's kind of sweet he considers Mito as true mom. I get how we do this, but it just adds to the mystery, really. It's also kind of funny. That's when they opened up the Greed Island memory card that was left with the recorder from Ging. It's like a Dreamcast or PS2 game menu. When they look at the memory cards, this is nostalgic as hell. A game that is worth, and also this game is worth billions of jenny. And I thought today's game prices were criminal. But this game is so rare, no one can find it. Not even the boys online. Almost everyone that's being sold could be a fake for all I know. The only ones being sold are auctioned off at York New, where Kurapika is heading. They decided to go on there and go find Ging together. Side note, Killa really is a bro. I find his codependency on Gon now is showing. And even Killa knows he's only doing this because Gon is doing it. It's poor kid. His dad will never bring him home milk. Luckily, Killa is there to help him as they start looking into an online shop. The manga did this weird thing that describing the internet like it's an alien concept. I mean, it makes sense since it was early 2000s and online orders were just like very sketchy at this time. But no luck for Greed Island. Even Killa asked his brother's otaku brother Miluki, asking for the Greed Island, and is unable to hack the memory card that Killa sends. Like, there are so many references in the background from like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, and Yu Yu Hakusho. Side note, did you know that Sailor Moon was actually created by Togashi's wife? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. If you're lucky, Miluki is just a nepo baby at this point. Like, not even he could find Greed Island when it comes out, no matter how rich he is. Like, the dude asked his dad for tens of billions of dollars to go to the auction, and does so like committing a terrorist bombing with that blimp. Side note, doesn't Miluki kind of look like Levi who gave up? And even though his like narrow eyes are like so similar, like it's kind of crazy. Probably inspired. Wait, when did this chapter come out again? April 2000? Not too far off. He was just a year late. Meanwhile, Kurapika and his gang are about to meet the boss. The Dawn Zone is threatening him as Kurapika thinks the troop are going to come. Everyone, but like the boss of the Nostra family is like, well, the bodyguard boss of the Nostra family is like, everyone is enemy. I'm glad Takashi considered to improve the designs of characters over time. Like, Melody looked like Quasimodo when you first meet her, and now she looks more pleasant to look like 10 chapters later. It shows like he's not very consistent with the character design, but he's also very good at making character design in general, where it's like so distinguishable. Killa and Gon are heads to start making money in York New Market. Of course, Gon wants to get a new phone, and they meet Lorio. I know people who know how to haggle, and I have done it before plenty of times, but Lorio is just a legit pro. Being able to get Gon's phone down to like a penance of what it would actually cost. As the three are together again, heck, even Lorio learned Nin in this case while helping them make money. We get to meet the boss now. Now referred to as the boss's daughter, Neo Nostra. Turns out she can tell the future, and her father wants her to tell fortunes. And they sell the fortunes to make money from other bosses. She seems simple, but there is something very disturbing about this. She collects body parts and corpses. She's a teenage girl, no doubt, but the way her ability, lovely ghost rider, angelic auto rider, is quite in depth for something so simple. Like, she's a specialist. And specialist in this case from Hisoka's chart, someone who are independent, able to gather people around them. Not very someone for like her personality, so I think it's all very hidden underneath. Also, that Nin creature behind her is quite horrifying with its mouth open and how it whispers in the anime. Takashi just knows how to make horror and monsters unlike any other person I know in manga. There are only single chapters, but even they get to meet the infamous Phantom Troop. All of them have their quirks, not very normal around each other, but Corlo, I think this is when he was just at peak design. Like, the way he looks when he's about to rob the auction was so cool. Like an actual mob member or some extra out of the Addams family. It just gets better. Moving on to Gon, Killa, and Royal trying to make money, doing arm wrestling for a diamond. Lots of bums get to have their arms broken by a 10-year-old. Until our ditzy, Velma-looking Shizuku from the Phantom Troop shows her Nen off and tries to arm wrestle Gon. Before he can do anything, however, she loses, and they have to head back to go steal from the auction. It's like knitting all these little plot threads together because the auction is literally the Kurta clan's Scarlet Eyes, all tied around. There's something beautiful about Melody, in my opinion. She can see Kurapika's pain and shows her own by her goal of finding the rest of the Son of Darkness. Something that can be hard and destroy someone mentally and physically. Just how she changed from someone so possibly very beautiful into something very unpleasant due to hearing it. Even her friend dying from hearing it. It turns out Melody is a music hunter, and it's also pretty neat. Finding the Son of Darkness. I always wondered what she looked like before her curse. Maybe we'll learn one day in a flashback. And then when the auction starts, everyone is gathered and ready until Phaeton shows up, and his big buddy Franklin blows everyone away with Nin bullets. In Taiko's ability, thankless heroes are obliterated and base is skull bashed by Shizuku, who probably uses her unique vacuum cleaner. Yeah, vacuum cleaner to eat up all the bodies left and everything that's non-living. Turns out Kurapika knows something is up, and luckily all the auction items were moved prior to the robbery and the slaughter of everyone in the auction. Shreve thinks that there's a Judas among the group, but Corlo doesn't believe it. The way he speaks about things and hearing Jesus mentioned for the first time was wild. Like, there is a lot of Christianity reference used in this and later chapters. His way of speaking just makes me want to listen. No wonder he's the leader, or as they refer to him, Dancho, as they refer to him in Japanese. It looks like someone named Al used this ability to steal everything in the auction, and the troop are just starting to figure out what's happening. The Mafia are now after the troop after the manslaughter, and they are cornered them from a hot air balloon in the desert. Uvo, again, one of the largest and strongest members, is shot, but he bites the bullet, like literally, he bites the bullet, and then tears them apart, even taking a rocket launch with 0 damage. It's so funny when the other members are playing cards while this is all happening, like, yeah, just another Tuesday for Uvo. Even the Shadow Beasts try to use Nin against him, but none of them succeed, really. But one does this gross thing to put leashes in to slowly kill him. One tries to bite him, and one is able to use his hair to stop them. Doesn't matter, because he crushes them, even taking a bite of one of their skulls. In a very gruesome, cannibalistic fashion. Like, Uvo is demented in every way. Like, compared to Hisoka, he might be a bit more normal. Actually, I take that back. I mean, remember when Hisoka was talking to Kurapika in the Hunter's Inn? It turns out that old Kurapika shows up and locks Uvo away with his chain. Even Melody tries to stop him with her music, but it just has no effect. Machi uses her Ned effects to try to track them. The way Uvo reacted is kind of really normal, honestly, compared to what he was before. He's like, listen, you let me go, and I might not kill you. It's pretty interesting how he's just so calm about this whole thing. Like, he doesn't want to slaughter them, even though he just literally bit someone's head off. There's something very human about the troop in some ways. Like, they're evil, yeah, they're the worst criminals in the world, but, I mean, like, they aren't gonna just mindlessly kill people. Well, most of them won't. Like, they all act like a family together, but you know I will never forgive their crimes, especially what they did to Kurapika. But I do admire them as well-written antagonists. Like, damn, Kurapika even made ability of his chain just for them. If he uses it on anyone but them, he will lose his life. All the while, the troop are caught up in this troop are caught in Owls, the person who stole everything from the auction beforehand, Magic Cloth. And the rest of the Shadow Beasts show up ready to fight the troop. Yep, they're dead. The Nostrad bodyguards try to interrogate and torture Uvo, only for him to be delightful the whole entire time. He's still giving them a chance to release him, since they haven't stolen anything yet. Kurapika even beats him, which felt nice, but Hisoka meeting up with Pika knowing he wants to betray them was great. Like, the two work together knowing that they're going to take down the troop. All the while, the troop rescue Uvo and tear a hole in Don's alone. Looks like the bodyguard boss is down. Hisoka and Kurapika are teaming up, and it's kind of unpredictable how Hisoka acts. Like, I just found him so fascinating. Like you can hate him for different ways, but his character, you just want to know what he's going to do next. It's like Togashi knows how to make some really god-tier villains. It looks like their favorite, Kurta, has now become the leader of the Nostrad enforcers. Now meeting with the true boss, Light Nostrad, and Neon all in one sitting, talking about a big promotion. I mean, Kurapika literally became level 1 to level 100 all in one night. Uvo again is now hunting his captures, and it's something I kind of thought about, but Shalnark is a hunter, and the Uvo kisses him. I mean, like, are they lovers or something? I know it's like kind of implied, but not really. But it looks like everyone in the Nostrad family are targets now, thanks to Shalnark's help. Goning and the two are now getting far with arm wrestling, so it's time to switch things up and do some underground arena fights. They'll get back into the plot for the Phantom Troop, now on a hit list. 1 billion Jenny for each, and the boys now see a way to make money, although Killua and the Zoldyck know how to stay away from the troop. I mean, Gon should be staying away from them too, like with how the Zoldyck family literally tells Killua, don't mess with the troop. But Gon is just crazy. Like, why would he do this? Just for his goal to get Greed Island? But that doesn't matter as much compared to what as Kurapika and Uvo face off. We get treated to one of the top 5 best fights in the series. Kurapika's words alone, pay for your sins with your life, hits hard. But the 1999 anime makes it so deep. Even when he's using the mantras, the Kurta clan, the moon is a red blood with his body shivering like he's breaking down with anger. It's just so peak. Uvo is getting pleasure from this, making me hate him, and Kurapika hate him so much. Extremely a good fight, with Kurapika even getting his arm broken and giving this beastly man a run for his money. Kurapika is pretty scrawny in appearance, but he takes him down. Turns out he's pretty good at playing Uvo the entire time, catching with chain gel and putting him in an ultimate restriction we learned earlier, Zetsu. Unable to use Nin and now unable to move, because even though he's the strongest member in the troop. Uvo's freaking out, like, how can a conjurer do this to defeat a master enhancer? Turns out Kurapika can become a specialist with the Scarlet Eyes when he activates them. Who remembers who they are. Even in his last moment, he doesn't give him any information about them, just telling him that he took them down. Not even giving information about the troop, even though Kurapika beats him and even curses Kurapika the entire time. So, Kurapika puts a chain in Uvo's heart and asks him again, while beating him, only for him to destroy his heart. After denying him, like, holy shit, Uvo is very committed to the troop no matter what. Like, the scene was so well done, cinematic in both versions, but way better in the 1999 version. But then again, for Kurapika, all he can feel is indescribable emptiness. Was his revenge worth it? It doesn't bring his clan back. It won't bring all the people that perished under the feet of the spiders. This is one reason I think Kurapika is so much more in-depth in a person than Sasuke and other Revengers. Like, his interpersonal turmoil feels more realistic. Like, it's hurting him so much. Like a poison that's just hurting him, just filling him up every time he does this. I mean, does this make him worse than the troop? I don't think so. But Kurapika is changing for the worse, and it's just hurting him more than anything. And this is just the first casualty of this troop for him. Even then, I think the troop deserves this. I don't care if you got morals about if they should die or shouldn't die, who's worse or not. The troop are just absolutely evil. Or are they? Something to discuss later, I think. While Corlo interrogates Al, we learn that the black-haired leader can steal over Nin abilities, as Gon sells his hunter license to get enough money for the auction. But even that isn't enough. Like, looks like Gon and the gang can now make some money, but Togashi, did he work with an appraiser? These next few chapters are nothing but this. Like, cool, but seems kind of strange. The most potent reason for this is Gon is shown to be purely innocent, but also somewhat unhinged. Like, there's something going on with him, and I don't really like how the signs are starting to show. Like, even the person who helps them, this new appraiser friend Zepile, looks to help them out. It looks like Lorio found one of the troop members from the hunter site, and now they're after them. Both Nobunaga and Pachi are discussing the possible death of Uvo. Machi's like extremely intelligent. Like, her intuition is something that they're following, that there could be something wrong with Uvo. Even Crollo respects it. Killua and Gon are hiding, waiting to see what will happen while they plan out how to take down the Nostrad family. It's such a tense scene when Killua and Gon try to not be caught, only be found out that they've been caught by Finks and Pakunoto. Nobunaga threatens to kill Killua with, do you want to die now or later? It can be really intimidating. I appreciate they all look like professional criminals, even though Finks looks like a mafia member with that jumpsuit. Even when the boys meet the whole troop members, plus Hisoka, Gon questions their morals. Like, Gon gets nowhere except a broken arm once they learn that they beat Hizuku. Nobunaga breaks his arm, and Nobunaga cries over Uvo. Another great example of humanizing their evil. I still don't feel bad for him, but I do feel something somewhat. I mean, they're not total goons, that's what I'm saying. And I just love that about them. But the green-haired boy doesn't understand why is he crying over someone like that, even though he's killed so many. Phaeton plans to break Gon's fingers after the outburst. They tried to not to kill him. It reveals that Paknota can read their minds. And Killa is deducing this already, like learning soon enough that Kurapika is a chain user hunting. Like Killa is just insanely smart. Being able to figure this out all in one go, his IQ must be crazy. It's funny, Nobu tries to ask the two to join the spiders, like, bro, stop. Uva's in the ground already. It's so scary. Well done. Like Nobu is like gets to go from a goofy, wise-talking samurai to a cold, hard killer on a dime. Even Killa was terrified and knew he was outmatched while trying to escape, knowing he could get his arms cut off. He even wanted to sacrifice himself for Gon. But good boy Gon has an idea, breaking both walls and escaping, just like they learned from the appraiser earlier. Back with Neon, who is with her bodyguards in the mall, we meet a lovely gentleman with a cross on his head. See what I mean? She's able to escape some hunters who are much smarter than her. I think she's way smarter than we think. We just don't really see it as much. That's kind of cute, the chapter message. Like Togashi mentioned he had his first child. The Zelda family and a bunch of assassins, Kurapika, show up. The professionals are put in their place and treated like kids, while Kurapika treats the other mafia boss, Shinji, like he's nothing, mentioning he will make Pika's life hell. Yeah, good luck with that. Seemed like Chrollo gets to see Neon tell the future. We get some insight how she was inspired to do so. We all know, well, Chrollo was up to something. It's kind of sad seeing him cry over Uvo, realizing that when his fortune is being told by Neon that he basically died, and the other troop members could possibly die too. Kurapika tries to find what's happened, but Chrollo already knocked out Neon and prepares his onslaught against the entire Mafia. The Phantom Troop decimate the Mafia. It's almost like a symphony being played in a requiem in Uvo's memory as Chrollo orchestrates everything. It makes it more funny seeing Gon and Killa still consider going after them, as Kurapika acts like a mom being concerned for their sons. Can I just gush over this fight scene right now? Zeno, Killa's grandfather, and Silva, Killa's dad, fight Chrollo, and they deduce his ability. It's like a really entertaining fight. We learn that Chrollo's ability is called Skill Hunter, Bandit's secret, using the stolen abilities of other users to fight, including Al, that he stole later. Kurapika has now not much to do except for protecting the owners of the auction. The 10 bosses have been assassinated by Illumi, which stops the fight between the Zoldyx and Chrollo, pretty much saving him before he got murked. It's pretty clever, I'm gonna lie, because Chrollo is insanely rich, being able to stop the contract that was put up on him from the Zoldyx. As the Phantom Troop take over the auction from the shadows, so everything as fakes, and copies the valuable items with Korotopi's gallery fake. None of that matters as Kurapika learns that all the troop members are dead. Nope, they're fakes. But Kurapika doesn't know, realizing that his revenge has been futile now as Light Nostra has Pika buying the Scarlet Eyes from the auction, even scaring the hell out of Zenji after be able to get his eyes back from the troop, even though they aren't real. Kurapika even talks to Gon and Killa, saying that they're not near enough in money, as he can't find the words to say. All the while, the troop is alive and well. In the manga, there's a chapter left out where it talks about the spiders, where they came from, Meteor City. They have no identity, and they have no real family. They came from a place that is more like a dumpster. And like, wow, it's so masterfully done. Reading in the newest chapters that are coming out, it parallels what's happening right now with the videotapes that the troops found as kids. Just you wait. Kurapika meets the two. Gon and Killa are starting shenanigans with each other, as it gives him some happiness knowing his friends are here. Even if his revenge supposedly is over, the two are still alive and well. Kurapika explains his abilities to his friends, and it's quite serious. I mean, sharing your win and then with ability with anybody is like sharing your social security number. You don't want anyone to know, but Gon does. Only for the others to show up when to risk their lives to protect Mama Pika. All the while, the troop members are going to read their fortunes that Chrollo stole from Neon, and Sokka is trying to hide that he's the actual Judas of this whole thing, leading to the psychotic clown giving the memo. The 4 corpses are fake to Kurapika. Hisoka is just sneaky. Even his ability Texture Surprise can disguise the fortune that he was given when they play the spiders, and plans to kill Chrollo in an awesome fight that he wants. Like, he's getting so excited over this that it's a little crazy, I can't lie. Apparently, Cortopi can conjure 50 buildings with, like, no sweat. And Killa sneaking around trying to find them after we learn that the trooper were alive. I have to admit, Togashi's put his characters in some interesting fits. It's pretty disappointing Gon wears the same clothes throughout the anime until later, and, like, he can actually, like, wear some decent and interesting clothes. Also, Kurapika dressed as a girl. You know what they were doing there, and Togashi did too. Trooper hunting for the chain user when it comes to the fake eyes that they used to track them. Too bad Gon and Killa are caught by Chrollo, as it gives one of the most chilling responses when Gon asks him why he kills people. Why does he do it? He doesn't even know. Seems like Squalo is also cornered, having stolen the fake eyes, and Paku reads his mind, and poor guy, he just loves his dogs and just wants a little simple life from one of the Nostrad maids. Too bad Naga had to chop his head off. The spiders know about the blonde-haired Avenger now, but none of his abilities too much. Only for Gon and Killa being captured by Glorio and tricks the troop, cutting the lights off. The boys try to escape only for it to fail, not with Chrollo being captured by Kurapika. Now having the hostages, Paku knows everything about Kurapika, but they have their boss now. She doesn't know what to do, only for her to be mentally just figuring out, what can I do? What can I do? Should I let Chrollo die and do what I can and just kill the boys? Or should I wait and go rescue Chrollo? But Chrollo doesn't care about his life, seeing it meaningless when Kurapika beats him, having captured in his chains, and tries to get the truth from him. It's kind of funny in the 1990 version, in all versions. Chrollo just sees the chain user as a girl immediately. Kurapika's the wife to make off. Like, what's the difference it makes? He kind of does look the same thing. Wait. I feel so bad because Chrollo is so evil in this instance, yet so correct in knowing Kurapika has nothing in him against him. Seeing it as more of a short coffee break, as he plans to end Pika and his friends once he leaves. Like, he believes his fortune, he's going to live throughout all this. The meeting happens. Kurapika puts his conditions and chains in Paku to stop her from blabbing, contacting the troop about his abilities. And then Chrollo could keep him locked away from using Nen. That doesn't stop Hisoka from coming to claim Chrollo, only for him to realize he's a broken toy that can't fight, unable to use Nen. Even showing his spider tattoo wasn't real. Too bad for the clown. The best scene in this is when Paku has to sacrifice her life to give every member the memory of Kurapika. In turn, she loses her life to the chain. It's kind of sad. Like, why do you have to make me care about this, Togashi? She's a despicable person, but she at least had some humanity in her. With everything done, Gon and Killa are now planning to get to Green Island. While Kurapika is a practical climber from the pain he's endured using his abilities. I really like how he sees the mental anguish in the 1999 version. Like, it's even the 2001 OVA afterward, the anime. The boys show up at the auction with a 50-50 plan only for the trip members to show up, but not to fight. No, Kurapika's Nen per se has cursed Chrollo, but something happens to Pika. In this case, the Nen would only get stronger after death, and it could eliminate the entire troop. The auction goes well, and Greed Island bought by a billionaire. Tens of billions of Jenny named Radia. Guess screw you, Miloki. You tried your best, but you couldn't face the capitalists. As Gon and Killa show their Nen to him afterwards, their plan is to essentially can get into Greed Island without having to pay. Really clever, I have to admit, for Gon. Also, another person examining the two boys are Tezgira? Yeah, I like how complicated these names are. Jeez, but they're still weak. No, they have to show more. So they start training on something, their main abilities. Hatsu is so well developed after everything from the previous arc and building off each other one after another. Gon is pretty much steaming over not being able to come up with his own ability, but Killa knows what he wants. Electricity is his niche. All the while Phaeton and Finks cause Mayhem getting a copy of Greed Island all for themselves. We see that people can be transported in the game using Nen. Kurapika's abilities are learned for visualization, like sleeping, licking, and even thinking about chains, which, okay my guy, you're kind of freaky, a bit kinky too, I can't lie. Wing even helps Gon trying to figure out his ability when he calls him, but it can only give him just a few hints. Melody is kind of sweet at saying that Wario has this gentlest heart in Yorknew. As they start going their serpent ways, even Zeppeli plans to become a hunter now. Tryouts start on Greed Island, both boys pass. It's kind of dark knowing that Killa has been electrocuted since he was a baby. Like, Togashi puts these characters in some really messed up situations, and it makes them into realistic people. Like, even the torture they take and toxicity of their family when it comes to Killa, like, you know that, like, it came from something in real life. And they all get transported to Green Island, and we continue for the search for game. Green Island is interesting. I don't think it's as in-depth compared to New York New, but Gon and Killa start off by gaining books, which can access spell cards. Like, seriously, Togashi spent probably months coming up with each and every card in this video game known as Greed Island. He's truly formed when it comes to card creator and game designer. It's fun because we get a new teacher for the boys, Biscuit, or Bisky Kruger, who teaches them all about advanced techniques, both expanding on their arsenal. Again, this is just fantastic, but the villain, not so much. But at least the truth is here. This is until we learn some murders have been happening. What happens when you die in a game? You die in real life. Like, is this the first manga with this premise? Probably not, but it's most likely the first popular one. The boys struggle, but train hard for Biscuit. As everyone else is playing the game by themselves, I have to admit. As well, there was also another powerful nin user named Avangane, who's black. Was never welcome change. It makes it feel like there's a lot of diversity in Hunter x Hunter. I mean, a lot of manga does have it, like Bleach and One Piece, but I like Hunter x Hunter for this very reason in some ways. It's also very important for Crollo later. Turns out, all these killings are bombings by a mad bomber called Ginthru. I hate him. Seriously, he's unlikable in every way and just wants to win by any means. He's a psychopath who works well in regard to Gon and Killa's training, who are both in danger by the Mad Bomber. He's not as interesting as Crollo, but we need some obsessively bad villains this time. As Ginthru plans to place a bomb on all the major players if they don't surrender their cards. The story has a ton of RPG elements, and it's kind of unique since it's not so generic like a normal isekai. Like, you gotta think where we were before. We went from mafia, drama, now we're in RPG video game land. I mean, that's an interesting shift, and Togashi just shows that he can make anything he wants to do and make it interesting. Like, yeah, it's got a lot of tropes, but also fun, a lot of ways as well. It's only serious when it needs to be. Tescaria also helps around, but man, Gon and Killa are also so much more talented. For a 40-year-old man, he really let himself go as a hunter. But you know, a lot of hunters are specialized in certain things, so maybe not all of them need to be insanely strong, even for a pro. What is with these walls of text for each cards in the manga? I mean, Togashi, I know you like to go into detail, but this is ridiculous in this manga. I do like the interaction between Bisky, Killa, and Gon. Like, it's kind of like siblings, but until it's revealed that a serial killer, that she's actually 57 years old. It's silly, similar to how Genkai's Yu Hakusho does the similar thing, but it's a surprise no less. Man, now I really want Nin. Imagine being able to look that young at that age. It's kind of awesome, and her abilities are useful to improve her skincare and health, not just for me as a non-combative ability. I mean, heck, it can even turn 1 hour of sleep into 8 hours. I mean, that's genius. Also, Nin is kind of really dangerous. Like, one full hit is an advanced application of Ko can destroy your entire body to an immense degree. Remember those disabled users in the Heaven's Arena? Oh yeah. Like, some of the killings by Ginthru are so violent. Like, I wish they had kept in the anime because it's so kinetic and chaotic. It's kind of ironic. It's being these detailed looking characters against simple characters like Gon. It's masterfully done. You realize how it's not so uncanny, and it like fits the theme when it needs to get serious or dangerous. It turns out Greed Island is a real place on the continent. It's used to play the game. So it's not even isekai. The game was built by Ging and his friends as a pet project. Amagane is the only one to survive the bomber, having a time bomb on him so he can exercise it as a nin curse. While Gon and Killua and the gang collect as many cards as possible, even trying to trade with others and complete multiple short quests. In 2011 anime, they have little cute hints that the boys might be more than just friends, like they even kiss it after the credits tidbits. You aren't slick, Madhouse, we all know. Killua goes to get his hunter license, and I didn't mention it, but Zepile helps get Gon his license back earlier. Killua mops the floor with him though, and everyone else has become a hunter in just a couple minutes, carrying all their badges out with a cat-like smile. But it seems like the Nostri family is falling apart. Neon can't use her ability, and Kurapika is still there, trying to hold things together. Looks like he's about to make his claim. We all know how this is going to happen after she lost her ability. The boys are getting so much stronger with men, and we learn that Killua is kind of a gambling addict. Ginthru and everyone else are so close to completing the game. The boys are only a couple cards close, so they have to complete a bunch of sports with a guy named Razor. It's one of the more interesting parts of this arc. While Tiscarga is running and hiding from Ginthru hunting players, I don't really care about him, but it's nice to see a side character show more personality than most, and the hunters aren't all created equal. It turns out they need players for the game to get the Plata Beach from Razor to win. To do so, they set up a few sports events, and apparently they have to fight against hardened criminals to do so. An interesting note that teleportation works with a mission, and I like the little things that expand on the application, and this is just one of them. The last game from Razor is Dodgeball. They don't have enough members, so who can they be the last player to equal out the team? Why, Hisoka, of course, and Biscuit is just drooling over him while he's creeping on the boys. Like, this is the first instance where Hisoka truly creeped me out. He needs to stay far away from those two, like away from all school zones, as he looks to removing the Nin curse from Krollo to fight him later. Oh, this is the best part in this whole arc. Like, the dodgeball game is intense. You think Killua will break his hands and that someone is gonna die, but Killua, Gon, Hisoka, Bisky, Tezorga, and the others outwit the master emitter, Razor. We learn that Razor is one of Ging's friends and a creator of Green Island, but he shows no mercy to Gon once he learns this. But this brings up the question, why did Ging hang out with criminals and just literally just hire them for his projects? Guess that just tells a lot about himself. I really like the fight scenes in this dodgeball game. It's got a lot of dynamic line work, and the anime makes it feel like the hit from a ball has more weight than it should. The climax with Hisoka using bungee gum sending the ball back to Razor was really fun. I just wish that the rest of the arc had more fun moments like this. It was interesting how Gon started to show how selfish he was. He literally just knew that Killua's hands were nearly broken, and he still put him out to play. Like, I know they would win with him, but still, like, it's just, does he care about actually his friend, or just care about winning? It's something I didn't mention, but Fartera is paying them billions to actually complete this game. The story point is he's doing this to revive his dying wife, who, spoilers, dies and calls everything off. I don't really care about him, but it's noticeable Togashi adding little things with his side characters gradually so they aren't just one-dimensional. The final showdown is here, both the boys preparing for Bisky in the encounter with Ginthru, while Destarga is running for his life. 10 years in Green Island he spent is basically lost. At least he's able to be a billionaire at the end of the day. And letting the boys with Bisky try to win the game. Killua beats Ginthru's goon, and Bisky shows her pretty intense muscle of beating the other goon of Ginthru's. I like how she just doesn't use it because she hates how it looks, even if it's her true form, she looks like a JoJo character. Like, in real life you could see some women feeling like this, like they don't want to have their huge muscle forms, so they just shrink down their smaller forms. I mean, I like how she's more than she seems. As Gon fights Ginthru, this confirms it. Gon is absolutely batshit insane. Like, he blows off his arm to give Ginthru a devastating hit, using the spell cards to trap him and use his specialty Jajanken, or rock paper scissors, to finish him. I truly believe Gon is more than he seems. It's like there's something not right about him, even in comparison to Killua. Gon stopping the bomber is welcome, but Killua seeing them as the same, I feel like he's earned more respect than these psychopaths. Like, Killua should not be comparing himself to because he was manipulated by his family. Sure, he's got morality, he knows what he's doing, but at least he stops because he knows that he only needs to kill when he needs to, not because he wants to or because he wants to do it for money. I think the bombers plus Gimfru should honestly be penalized the highest possible for what they did. But at the end, when they use the Breath of Angel, the card they used to restore Gon's arm, a test is played out at the end, and Gon is the one with the highest score in Creed Island. It seemed like he knew more and been observing more about the game than people let on, ending off with him getting to have a celebration, winning up to 3 cards to keep in the real world from Creed Island. I mean, hey, everyone is pretty much rich now. Well, Killa is richer now. Amagane even gets rid of the curse when he touches Ginthru, and plans to go exercise Corlo's curse. Gosh, we know your self-insert is Duan. I saw the picture, I know for a fact it's you sitting in all that trash. Even Ging likes to mess with his friends, legally changing their name just to fit with the Greed Island acronym. They decided to keep the last card hidden and use the company to transport Killa and Gon to Ging. It's clever, it's a good send-off for Biscuit, but I feel like I wish we could have got more about the female hunter more. She seemed more knowledgeable and intriguing than she lets on. I just really like her. It turns out that they didn't get transported to Ging in the real war, but you wouldn't guess it. Kite! The first hunter and friend Gon met. He's also Ging's student and who is trained extensively. He's essentially like a big brother to Gon, or uncle. All the while, a mysterious creature washed up on the beach, and Kite is researching something strange called chimera ants.